shadows whisper, darkness hides. We're diving deep into the unknown. On a journey, you're not alone. From haunted halls to specters lost, we'll guide you through the eerie frost. With tales that chill and spirits roam. A freaking awesome paranormal show. Ghostly whispers, ancient tomes, mysteries in haunted homes. Brace yourselves, it's time to go. The freaking awesome paranormal show.
The engine is starting up.
For launch, GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom,
go. Pending final steps, the cabin link check.
3, 2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the Riff Nation Network, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Hey, and welcome. Yeah, I know. It's crazy, isn't it? I'm here. Wrong studio. I'm here. Where's everybody else at? How is everybody doing? Welcome to the freaking awesome paranormal show right here on the RNN. Look, I've got explosion going on. Woohoo! We're going to drop that out there a little bit. Rhonda's going to be here in just a few minutes. We've got a wonderful guest. I want to say thank you to Ryan for calling me up and going, hey, can you help me out? Hey, sure, why not? I get a chance to hang out with everybody, which I really enjoy, by the way. I love being able to contact our groupies, our travelers, and our freaks Rhonda and Ryan's Freaks.
That's right. We're glad to have you tonight.
Oh, look, she's here.
I am coming in, sliding in on 2 wheels.
Oh, ice. Hello. It's only been a couple of hours.
I know.
But nevertheless, it's good. How's things going in Richmond right now?
Snowy and cold. I shouldn't say snow. I mean, there's snow. It's just cold. It's just cold. But
I heard that y'all got more than we did. I saw the pictures.
Yeah, I would say I got, because you know where I'm at. I got about 3 inches.
Okay.
About 3 inches, yeah.
Okay, so you got about the same amount we got.
I think so, but it wasn't far from me where it got to like 5.
Evidently, over in Midlothian and Chesterfield, I got about. I spoke to Robert, and he was giving me pictures and updates. He's like, "Dude," I'm like, "Good God!"
Yeah. And it did not melt much today, so it's been cold, for sure. It sounds like we got a warm up coming. So,
well, we shall see, won't we? Yes. Well. We've got a very special guest coming in tonight with Ryan not being here.
I know. He wouldn't. He brought all this snow to us like he likes to do.
Right.
He's talking about it being too hot, and then he goes and tries to run away from it.
I know, how rude.
That's exactly what I said. How rude. How rude, Ryan. How rude.
Well, those who do not know. Of course, I'm sitting in for Ryan C. Jones, the host of the Freakin' Awesome Paranormal Show, FAPS, if you will, with Rhonda. Of course, I am Ed the Hitman Odell. I am the host of the Orion Effect and the network director and creator. So welcome. Again, we do have a wonderful gentleman with us in just a minute, but I like to get everybody involved. So I like to step back and let Rhonda take control and just go.
Oh, look at that. And he's even hanging out in chat. Hello, Ryan C. Jones.
Where the hell are you?
Hello, Ronnie Anderson, Michelle Wilfong from the Haunted Apartment. Ronnie Anderson, Agatha. Hey, Agatha. Sharon Metter, Kristen Coleman. Another.
She's
from the Riff. Good to see you. Lois Clark. Who let the dogs out? Yo, what's up? Who let the dogs out? Stephanie Woodworth said she's here to see her buddy, Seann Austin. We're really excited to have him. Mike Brooks, Emily Warner.
Emily.
Yeah.
Emily.
All right. Nathan. I think that's for him, but thank you all so much. Renee Cody. So we're excited. It's going to be a fun night.
Nathan hit it. Ryan's fault for the weather. You're right.
Then he messages me yesterday. Says, "Hey, Howie's going to jump on with you. I saw the snow and we fled to Great Wolf Lodge in McWilliamsburg." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's supposed to snow there too." Ha ha.
Nice try.
Like, no, nice that they could go get a little getaway right before the holidays and with the young one and stuff like that. So that's awesome.
You know, everybody needs a little break. And I tell everybody on the staff, do not feel bad if you need to take a personal time. Just make sure you holler me or Susan and we'll like, okay, we're either going to fill in or we're going to postpone the show. It's not that big deal because it's about family first. That's what this network is about, you know?
Like, just like me, like literally 10 minutes before the show, I messaged you going, "I'm on the phone with my boss. I'm going to be a few minutes late."
Right. I'm like, yeah, I know how that goes.
Yeah. You know how it is now that you're in corporate America. The phone rings all the time. All right, Carrie. So you're who let the dogs out. Okay.
Who let the dogs out? Yeah.
I like your handle.
Yeah. You like that? That's good. So we have a really great show. Ryan did set up an amazing guest.
Yeah.
We've got plenty of questions for him. We've got him for 50 minutes. Let's bring him on. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Seann Austin, demonologist and paranormal researcher, content creator. Good evening, Seann. How are you?
How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing excellent, sir. We thank you. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us tonight.
No problem at all. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a fun show. We can tell you right now.
Yes.
Rhonda's got her glasses on. This is going to get really good.
I think it's because I've been looking at a computer for like 12 hours. So I'm like, I can't hardly see anymore.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Well, you got a lot of fans up in chat that are rolling and waiting to talk and hear from you. I'm sure they got some questions, and we got some questions, but let's jump right into it. Let's get into that paranormal soup, if you will. Sorry, Jason, have to talk about it. How did you get into the paranormal, Seann? How did this all come about to begin with, and where did it lead you?
Well, I was a believer for many years. I watched many documentaries and things of that nature during those times, unsolved mysteries, sightings, and a haunting, and things like that. And not until I was waitering at a restaurant with a friend of mine who's super skeptical, I wanted him to have an experience. So I took him to a local cemetery where there was an urban legend of 3 women in white that would chase you out. And in the process, I had a flip phone and got my first EVP of a little girl. 2-3 weeks later, I saw a shadow of a little girl in the corner of my bed. It was even light out. And that's when I started becoming obsessed and reading books about the paranormal, and started going out and wanting to attain more knowledge from the experiences. And then, I ended up with my own podcast and meeting people and networking with people in the paranormal, which led me to have my own podcast. And, ended up meeting Ralph Sarchi, who was one of the guests on my podcast. It ended up being my first TV show, The Demon Files, and kind of spurred off from there. And then, writing my first book. Over 16 years later, I've done so much in the paranormal world. It's definitely been a surreal journey.
That's amazing. There really is a heck of a journey, if you will. So with that, how long has it been since you've been in the field then? What's your period of time right now? What are we looking at?
Yeah, it's over 16 years I've been investigating the paranormal.
Very nice. Very cool. Very cool. And it seems like you've definitely got a long period of knowledge that you have grown with it. You've seen a lot of things. You've experienced some of the things. I told Rhonda, look, you need to shut me down because I'm going to ask questions. That's what I do. It's my job. So with saying that, what are some of your memorable moments that you've had in the field or even content creating that you could share? I mean, is there anything that sticks out, any places, any events?
There's so many people who ask me, a question I get all the time, like, oh, what's your favorite place to investigate? And my answer to them typically is actually going to a new location, because I don't know who I'm going to encounter, what I'm going to experience. And that not knowing type of feeling, especially being sensitive to spirits and not, rather than going to a place that you've been to over and over again. I love being, brought to something that's new, where I haven't encountered something and see what's going to happen from there. But I've had many different crazy things that have happened throughout the years. What sticks out to me is just recently, I just filmed an investigation. I actually chartered a boat and went to Lake Lanier in Georgia, which they have 700 deaths associated with the lake, and went around to all the hot spots in a boat and tapped into what I felt intuitively. And we actually did an investigation at night on an island in the middle of Lake Lanier at night. And it was very eerie, strange, unique, and different than your average investigation. Actually, the boat charter guy, he does ghost stories. He's very knowledgeable about the ghost stories surrounding the lake. From what he experienced right in front of us, he was kind of a little skeptical, and he's like, you burst my bubble when it comes to believing the paranormal. Driving back, I have him on video, and he's like, I don't know whether to thank you or never to invite you back again. So I thought that was pretty funny. Because it obviously got a little freaky and scary. I definitely have a lot of enemies in dark places that are not a fan of me, and they definitely come reaching out in places that have some sort of negative, oppressive energy in the space or environment that I'm in. So,
okay.
What do you think it is that, like you say that, but do you feel like there's something? What do you think it is that draws the more negative stuff towards you?
Well, number one factor that's a profound overall broad spectrum of what happens, just like it happens to children, because children are fresh from the spirit world, and when they're fresh from the spirit world. They have not been contaminated by the rational perspectives of their impressionable minds, and they're actually sensitive or naturally gifted. And some children just end up staying naturally gifted through their child years. Spirits are gravitating towards anyone who's sensitive in general, because they see it around your aura. They have an opportunity to be felt, heard, or seen more so than your average person or individual. So that's why they would go towards that person. As we know, many people in the paranormal world, acknowledgement is a profound element in the world of the paranormal, and spirits get energy from that. Most of these spirits are human spirits, and they want to feel like they were human once again in the physical plane, like we are right now. So that's one of the profound elements, on top of the fact of the places that I've gone to where I've helped people, doing a blessing, or I have to do an exorcism ritual on a legitimate demonic infestation property, or praying for spirits, which I do a lot of too. And I do believe I may have assisted and had my hands in trying to assist spirits to, make their choice to go into the light. There's a lot of these things that are pissed, and I have dealt with a lot of retaliatory attempts at me to come at me and take me down because of that. So they have a little bit more boldness and inspiration to come out and reach out at me if they have the opportunity to. If I walk into a place, what I like to always refer to as the spiritual rules of engagement, where you actually end up in a place where there might be some sort of doorway where there's negative events that have taken place in the past, or negative energies are able to come through and circulate around an environment with that type of energy.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, good question, Rhonda. Good. I'm going to follow up behind you, if I may. So, Seann, how did you become a demonologist? What did it take? What kind of research? How did you actually get the terminology demonologist placed on you?
So, when I first got involved in the paranormal, I started reading books, and I actually started reading about demonology because it fascinated me. I think it was the most taboo corner of the paranormal, because the most extreme types of activity in the paranormal happen with prenaturnal types of activity, and reading about these stories was fascinating to me. I was reading about it, and when I was going on podcasts, people were telling me I have some sort of calling, and I really didn't understand what they were saying, but it seemed to be maybe the way I was speaking about things. I don't know, but I guess now, later, all these years later, this is something that other people have referred to. Even I had heard Ed Warren had spoken about this, saying that it's a calling to be a demonologist. It's not like I sat here and say, I'm going to go learn how to be a demonologist next Tuesday and take a class. It was kind of came to me. Doors open, pathways opening, and then just like a magnetism, things were coming to me. And then obviously, working with Ralph, and I was mentored in Ralph. I really didn't understand that I was going to end up being a demonologist, but years of approaching the cases in the way that Ralph had actually shown me, with dealing with the human spirit, and rather with something that would be legitimately genuine demonic infestation. That's where I would do an exorcism ritual of the property or an environment. I mean, one day Ralph's just like, "You're a demon, Seann." Like, I really didn't understand where I would get that title, and I really didn't feel comfortable taking that, because I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do to attain that title. But years of working with Ralph, and that's the way I approached the cases. So I had to take that title and just do what I continuously do.
Okay. So you didn't really go to college. You didn't go to one of the monasteries and learn. You just actually trained underneath Ralph.
Yes.
Okay. There you go.
So
go ahead, Rhonda.
I was saying, you just mentioned something I had never really thought about or heard about, but it was just so, I guess I never really thought, because of movies and things like that, about demons being attached to the property as well as to people.
Yes.
So how is that different, or how do you treat those differently? Or are they treated the same?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it just depends on the different types of characteristics of the haunting. If it's legitimately inhuman, is it just infesting the environment where people are all kind of...
Uh-oh. Think we got a freeze. Is it me?
No, I'm fine.
All right. Let's see if we can get him back. Bear with us, folks. We're just experiencing a little technical difficulties on communication. I'm going to start that.
You're in a good one too.
Yeah, no. I'm going to pull him out, and then we'll try to, I'm watching him to see if it'll come back. Seann, if you can hear us, you may have to go out and come back in.
Yeah, he's frozen.
Yeah, he is frozen. But we've got your questions, and what I'm doing is, as you're asking the questions, I'm marking them, so you all are seen, and we will get to your questions or your comments are flopping out. We do not, if my understanding, we do not put the chats up here open. We just flash them. Is that right, Rhonda?
Either or. Sometimes we do both. It doesn't. I don't think there's any hard facts towards it. So, he's back.
Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Let's see if we can get him back in here. All right.
Okay. Yay, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. So.
Can you just start over? Because I was deeply ingrained in what you were talking about.
Yes. Yes. So if it's an infestation of the environment, then obviously if people are fighting and they're scratching the walls, people are having recurring nightmares or scratching on the walls, foul smells that have no rational explanation for it, and it's just kind of like a broadened haunting, that's one thing. But if it's zeroing on something or a person where they're being oppressed, it just depending on how they invite it in. There's got to be an invitation somewhere how this stuff has the opportunity to be in this environment infested. So it just really depends on the situation, how far it has actually gone. Obviously, in most cases, the person could be just oppressed. I mean, I've been oppressed by an evil spirit throughout my years of doing the paranormal, and being sensitive too makes me more of a target, especially what I do. But it's just really dependent on the type of case, the situation, the information, and what that person did. Is it just because they moved into a house where there was already something that was opened for whatever the reason, the history of the land, or someone did occult activity in a home and then they're just walking into a space where the door's already open? Or did like a child mess with, a Ouija board, or, do some sort of ritualistic method and open up? I mean, it just really depends on, what the whole thing as a whole, what's going on with the case and how I would proceed with it. Obviously, I've only dealt with one true possession case. I wrote about it in my second book. I truly believe the person was possessed, and I had loads of evidence of it. And every other case, I would say a person would be oppressed, where it's a psychological breakdown of the individual, where something has some sort of permission to amplify negative emotions within the individual to the point where they might be thoroughly depressed and hopefully not want to harm themselves or others. But that's what these things would idealistically want that person or individual to do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, we got some really good questions coming out of chat too, so we will make sure we get to those, Seann. The first one we got is from Renee Hurt. She goes, "Have you ever had a spirit tell you their story?" Good question, Renee.
I mean, many times. I mean, during investigations, you'll get little bits and pieces, and again, because I'm sensitive, sometimes I'll have dreams of places and entities that might be a part of the place that I'm going to be going to. And because there's no conception of time in the spirit realm, time is linear. These spirits have a good idea where you're coming, when you're coming, and they will come out and reach out. And especially when you're sleeping, when you're in a meditative state where your subconscious is awake and your rational mind's fully asleep. And this is the most beneficial way to try to get their message across to a person, is while you're sleeping. So spirits will come to me and maybe tell some of their stories and things like that. Or you could just be during an investigation and you start to get bits and pieces. But the way I do cases now, and I'm doing that on my YouTube channel when I have cases that, any places that I've never been to before, is I'll do an intuitive walkthrough, see what I pick up. And I'll have the owner do it with me. So then this way, when I interview the owner, we can kind of correlate some stuff that I picked up and then see if some of those instances come through during the actual paranormal investigation. And some of those story pieces kind of pull together. I think that's how we all do it as paranormal investigators and investigating the paranormal. It's like all these little pieces of the puzzle start coming together when you get, whatever it is. If you're just an investigator and you're getting bells and whistles and words coming through EVPs, and then you find out the story later, it's kind of like it just really depends, how the information gets pulled together and how much information you're able to pull together with an investigation and what kind of investigation you're doing.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, absolutely. I can not agree more on that particular answer. That's a well-placed answer on that one. With rolling this, now I'm going to fall back a little bit. Something you said, and I want to see and get your opinion on this. You said are you saying that most of the spirits or entities out there you feel were human spirits along with, well, we'll say maybe, I want to use, we don't want to use celestial, but it is kind of celestial because even demons are celestial. They came from the celestial realm. So is that what you're saying? The majority of the spirits were human and or celestial?
Well, I just think that most of the times that what we're encountering in these places are human spirits, but then occasionally you'll get stuff coming through that could be inhuman related. Now, these things like to play games and tricks. They can disguise their voices of you or people that you are friends with or care about. I've witnessed it many times before. It just depends. But yes, I mean, I would, demons would be considered alien because they never lived here in the physical plane. So they are alien to this world, if that's what you were getting with that notion. But most of the time it's human spirits. And occasionally, again, I have stuff that comes at me like they are incentivized, because here's the thing. I tell people, because it's not like I'm just going into people's homes when I have the opportunity. I have to do a dark case actually this Friday in Ohio, and I don't know if I have to do the exorcism ritual on the place. And someone messed around with occult stuff. I don't know anything else outside of that. But when you go to someone's home, you're trying to, try to facilitate the outcome of taking care of whatever's going on in the home or place that people are living in. And say, for instance, this person messed with the occult, and I get them to revoke whatever permission they allowed maybe in the past. And then you try to displace the darkness in the house and the environment. And then ultimately, because if there's something legitimately demonic in a place like that, and they're trying to break down the individual, they do not want to lose permission to do that, number one. But number two, the ultimate goal is to really get that soul of that person. That's the ultimate goal. They want the soul of that human being. That is the goal. They haven't gotten that. Now, I'm going to take you to the other side of the coin of what I'm doing all the time. I'm going to these places, and these spirits come to me all the time. They come to me before I even go to the locations. They will come to me while I'm driving in the car, start tapping on me, and they will tell me they are waiting for me to help them and assist them to go into the light. Now, you're talking about something else, in my opinion. This is what I'm theorizing, what I believe, is that I've dealt with this many times. It's a reoccurring theme in my specific journey in the paranormal, is that when you actually step in the way of the devil, you're making yourself an adversary to the enemy of man. And you're talking about taking souls away from the devil. You're talking about human spirits that I believe that are trapped by other entities that are suffering, that we can only speculate how bad and what the actual environment is in that world. And taking souls that the demonic and the devil do not want to lose grasp of. The devil technically already has those souls. So when you actually give an opportunity, and using my faith, and again, I'm not forcing these spirits to cross over. In my opinion, what I'm doing is I'm handing them like a torch in a dark room, and what you do with that torch is up to them. I cannot force them. It's like I'm trying to encourage them to take and accept unconditional love and forgiveness and go towards the light with my faith and what I'm trying to create in the environment during that. But I have encountered this many, many times. If there's human suffering after their death and they are in a purgatorial state, like, these things get pissed more so than me going into a home and trying to help people, because they already have some sort of permission over some of these souls. It kind of takes me back to one of my most infamous dark cases that I ever dealt with throughout all my years. It was the inspiration for the documentary Malefice. That was a place in Ohio where I believe I prayed for these women that were tortured, assaulted, and raped by this evil man. And, we found out later that this man was an evil doctor that was doing illegal abortions on the prostitutes, the brothels, and the babies were buried on the property. And all throughout the investigation, I believe I prayed for these women because this thing visited me and came to me in my bedroom years ago. And I saw a huge shadow with horns at the corner of my bed. And it said to me, when it spoke, it was like through a subwoofer, and it goes, "There are rules." And it fascinated me and creeped me out at the same time. But like, it's just wild, because it really was pissed off, because I used my free will to pray for these spirits, but ultimately it's up to God. And during our investigation, and when I did there and we filmed it, I didn't even care if we were filming a documentary. The filmmaker had found out what I was going to be doing. It was messing with my personal life, with a potential relationship that I was in, and took credit for the demise of it. So I had to go regardless of filming anything. And I went there and validated all my experiences. And right before I did the exorcism ritual on the property, I had the spirit box on, and the voice came through the spirit box and said, the rules have changed. And I asked, who changed the rules? It said, God. Clear as day. And that's the whole thing. It's like I was trying to encourage something, but God's the one that has the choice to allow these souls that are suffering, because they're suffering for whatever reason. There might be some sort of soul's journey that we still learn from after this death in this physical world, that they may be able to learn consciously on a spiritual level in this spirit world. And in these cases, they come to me and these things get pissed off. And I think about that demonic entity that came to me and said these rules. I think it was pissed because somehow there were rules, but God broke those rules and allowed these souls of those women to go. And that's why that thing stayed with me for like 5 years, trying to mess with my personal life. It was pissed. And it came through so many times and dozens of investigations saying how it wanted to take revenge against me. You took those women from me over and over and over again. And this is something, again, that's a reoccurring theme with many places that I've gone. And I've dealt with other situations like this. It's crazy. It's crazy. But this is why I do believe that these dark things come to me, and I have to deal with it when I go to some of these places that may be a little negative. But if there's an opportunity for these things to come through, they will definitely reference themselves. I don't think that I think this is what happens to, now I know that the demonic word, the demon word, it's used so easily. It's like a buzzer at a game show, and people like scoff at the word now, but it is legitimate at the same time. So, I mean, I'm not here to tell you that everything's a demon, but I'll tell you, and I will tell you, my intuitive ability, I know when there's something dark around, and there'll be evidence coming through. On top of that, I mean, it's no joke. These things are real. And if they have the opportunity to mess with your life, they will mess you up, and everyone around that you do care about. It is not a game. Yes, there's thrills and chills, and this is kind of like an adventure, but I mean, these are real stakes at hand here, and they can really screw things up. But that's my interpretation of why these things really come at me. I could be here just like I'm right now. I'm in a hotel room, like I'm in like, the area of Nashville, Tennessee, because I'm recording a new album for my music because I'm a musician. And like, I'll be at places and like, I mean, there's something I have a really creepy time with mirrors, man. These things watch me from mirrors, man. These dark things. And I've had horror movie like type stuff happening around mirrors, and being intuitive and stuff. It is creepy as hell, man. And I don't know what's your belief on mirrors, but I 100% on top of my experiences believe that they are doorways to the spirit world. Every time I'll go by, yeah, I've had a very crazy thing happen with this goat-like creature that followed me from a place down in Illinois, the Pine Lawn. That place is bad news. Bad news. And this thing, it was messed up. I'd actually collabed with Twin Paranormal, and they told me to come there. I'd never been there. And one of the things that I picked up is that I could see this demonic entity in the hallway with these long black fingernails, and it was doing like this to me, and in a very intoxicating way, that it felt like it was drawing me down the hallway, and it drew me all the way to the back of the building. Now, I knew nothing about what had happened there, and I went right to the place allegedly where one of the patients of a woman, when the place was open, because it was like a mental hospital, nursing home, something, and where she allegedly was doing, she sacrificed cats to summon a demon. I led right to the place, and I did feel like it was trying to latch on to one of those guys I was with, and I had him, I blessed him and had him say a prayer, and this thing was following me around, and these spirits start talking about it, and I'll say it. I'm like, I feel like that goat thing's around, and it'll just start saying goat through the spirit box over and over again. And there was one night, I was in front of the mirror and I was doing an investigation. I was actually live streaming. I have it on video, man. Like I just felt like that was the thing from Pine Lawn. It's in the mirror. And I started to feel this feeling come over me. The best way to explain what it felt like is like, like a classic Dracula movie where one of those women just get put in like a trance, and it's like almost like euphoric. It's the best way to explain it. It's almost euphoric. It's crazy. I felt like it was trying to entice me emotionally, spiritually, and just like inside me to say the words that you can come through the mirror. That's what it was trying to do. And I'm like, I know what you're doing. Is that what you're trying to do? And right after that, my creation, the SPI app, it said if I could. And when I was doing an EVP, It was just like, you're smart. Like, it was like a creepy voice. And it was really twisted because I had a vision. It telepathically projected an image in my head of me ramming my head into the mirror over and over again until it shattered with blood everywhere. It was sick. It was something straight out of a horror movie. I'm telling you, this stuff is no joke. But again, I have to deal with that more than your average person because I'm stepping in the way of these evil things, and they do not like it at all.
No, I completely believe you. There was a case in Virginia Beach where the Irvin family was actually tortured, if you will, when ghost attack. And then majority of the use was through the mirror. In fact, there was one time where the oldest daughter, the glass actually broke in the mirror, shattered across where the shower was. So when she stepped out, it got in her feet. So, and this is not something that's just one of those shows. I know these people. I know what happened. I saw the scars on Crystal's foot. So I totally understand where you're coming from with mirrors. Myself, with mirrors, and Rhonda and I have our own experiences as well when we were teenagers. So trust, we understand how these portal things work.
Yeah. I have visions of it now. I mean, spirit actually, it's interesting, like being a medium and stuff. Like now, like I will be shown images that are the same thing, that mean the same thing. So like the spirit, like, I don't know if it's my guide or angel, they'll show me like an image of like a black swirling around energetic like hole, like it's on the floor. And like, I know, I'm like, they're telling me there's a portal here somewhere. That's like a new thing. They keep showing me the same thing. Or I'm getting a very unique, interesting reference now when I go to places. They start, I don't know who it is, but I feel like it's a guide or an angel. They're telling me, restore the balance. And I feel in my gut that it's a reference to, I have to pray for some of these spirits to restore the balance of the energy in the environment and balance it out because of some of the spirits here. And they're telling me to do it. It's very fascinating. But now this is like a new thing that's happened over the course of the last like handful of months. And which I'm like, yeah, of course I'm going to do that. So,
well, getting technical, we're going to get technical, like you said, just a second, because I have a few questions. We're going to lead that, and then we're going to come back here, and we've got some good stuff on chat. But Rana, did you have something? I saw your face.
No, it's just funny you were saying that because I was like, well, I'm glad that happens to other people because I'm sensitive as well. And every year or so, something new pops up. And I would say in the last year, I've started getting the downloads of the symbols, like certain things mean certain things. And they seem to always mean that thing for me to recognize something. So that was just kind of cool to hear somebody else say
it's like a game of charades. It's really what it is. It's like this image means something. Now you have to interpret that. And they'll keep showing you that same image. They're like, all right, that's the image. Then keep showing you. They'll be like, okay, now I know what it is. And then they're trying to assist you. That's the way that they're permitted to do it, I guess.
Excellent. Yeah. One's coming out there. Looks like Sean Elliott from Hill City Paranormal shopping in. I guess when you come back to Lynchburg.
Hey, buddy, how we doing? Yeah, I'll have to come back there and hang out with you guys and do another investigation for sure.
Yeah, I know there's a couple places that are opened up, and the other places, unfortunately, have been closed off. So I think that's what you're referring to. Unfortunately, that's no longer accessible. But yeah, I know there's other places, and I know Hill City is definitely working their butt off in Lynchburg to get some going and working with Ghost Stop. So props to that. Give them a little shout out there. I like this question that Keith has. I'm going to go to that. Then we'll go to some technical and come back. Keith Otterberg asks, so how does one eliminate a demon? Good question, Keith.
You can't eliminate evil. You can only displace it somewhere else. You can't destroy energy. It's just going somewhere else. So you're not eliminating anything. You may eliminate it from the space, but you're not, definitively eliminating anything. You're just pushing it out, pushing it to somewhere else. So that's what I would be doing, is like sending off a bomb of light in a space, and with the hopes of, that darkness not being able to have permitted to come back in the space and wreak the havoc that it wants to onto the individuals it may have had permission to do prior.
There you go. Great question too, Keith. I have to give that out. He sometimes gets really into it. I love when they do that. Let's go back technical real quick. First, we did talk about your app a little bit. SPI, correct? And on that, I've had a couple of people reach out to me and ask my opinions, and I don't use those apps. But that's just a personal thing. I don't look down on them.
I know people are sensitive to apps like they are the word demon. It's the same thing. And I was gonna make a video about it because I see people debating all the time. It's like, it's confusing to me because it's kind of like people are scoffing even at the religious side of things in the paranormal. And to me, it's shocking because I'm like, well, if you're spiritual, you believe in spirits, then where does spirits end up? That means you have to believe in some sort of higher power. So where does the higher power lead to? That's confusing to me. Now, when it comes to like the apps, I don't understand. We're in a field where we talk about spirits. I think we all agree that they manipulate things that are electrical, right? That TVs can turn on and not be plugged in, right? People will get text messages from their loved ones with information that wasn't known to the person that owns the phone anymore. These are things that happen all over the place. So I don't understand how it's a far reach where like something like an app or device, like the thing that's been out the whole time is the obelisk. That's been around for so many years. So to think that a spirit, and obviously the theory behind that is that spirit can manipulate it to assign it one of the words in its database by using a manipulation of the EMF around the obelisk. And obviously with the phones you have GPS sensors and Wi-Fi's. Is there a level of skepticism to be with those things? Absolutely. Is there a process of elimination with apps? Absolutely. But there is a process of elimination in every single ITC method that we use in the paranormal. EVPs. Is it an EVP? Or is it audio pareidolia, or is it someone making noise in the background? If it's a spirit box, is it an actual spirit voice, or is it audio pareidolia, or is it the radio? I mean,
what about self-projection?
Every single method we have a process of elimination. So, when I created, this idea for SPI, I didn't want to have something that had any limitations to a word that would be in a vocabulary. And it's not the way that my original concept works in the SAM mode of the app. And what it's supposed to be doing, and it's still experimental and it's innovative, I've had amazing results in it, is that I'm using AI text-to-speech to listen for words in the audio and the app environment outside of human speech frequencies. Because when I first started to do research about EVPs, when I first started in the paranormal, because I was very fascinated by it, is I was looking up about EVPs. And I looked at, say, for instance, audio forensic analysis would look at a piece of audio. And they're saying, look, these are human voices speaking, but the frequency behind the human voices is scientifically impossible to be a human voice. Only like a kick drum of a drum set can hit on those frequencies. So I thought, what if there was some sort of software that we could use that could listen for voices that are loud enough for us to perceive? Because when we listen to classic EVPs, we know pretty much what it's saying when it's really clear. So what if we can actually have something that's listening, eliminating all the voices of actual human beings, because we speak on a typical bracket of hertz and frequencies? What if it's listening to above and below all of that and trying to interpret EVPs for us? And that gives us no limitations to what it can say. And that increases your value to your investigation. And you have something that's intelligently trying to interpret EVPs for us. Because if we can listen and interpret what EVPs say and even guesstimate what if I have AI text-to-speech doing the same thing and only listening for voices that are not humans? I think it's a fascinating, interesting, innovative approach to try to get something that furthers the research and using the technological advances that we've been circling, the cycle over and over again with these same things with the apps and stuff. And do I think that these apps can work in instances? Yes, I've had undeniable results over the years using it. And I think it's all about firsthand experience with any paranormal experience. You have to be open to every opportunity, to any method, and sit there and say, okay, what's going on, and try to validate it. And that's what I tell people how to do it with my own app. Okay, use the app, leave it on, and then do validation, do questions with EVP, leave the spirit box on. I mean, that's how I validate. Like, I'll give you an instance. Like, one time I'm at a haunted nursing home in Kentucky using my app. And now intuitively, I heard someone talking about dinner. So then all of a sudden, I'm like, what was your favorite thing to eat? And then my app said soup. And then right after that, a Class A EVP of a man said, stay for the soup right after that. So you're talking about 3 different things all in a row. How do you discount that? That's what I'm talking about. That's how we validate every single method we do in the paranormal. I don't understand why people are super against that stuff when we should just be open to it, because that's the way we should be approaching the paranormal as a whole, being open to it, but also objective. We have to accept technology and use it as an opportunity to further the research. Otherwise, we're just circling, the typical cycle. And I think with my original concept and what I want to do with it, and I have some new features coming out with the app that are very innovative that have not been seen in the field before that I'm super excited about and test for myself really soon, hopefully launching this in the end of this month, is that I want to do something that's exciting and something that I would want to use, even if I didn't create it myself. I want to have something that's considered a valued tool in the paranormal world. And again, is there a process of elimination? Of course there is. Do I think every word's going to be from a spirit? No, but this is experimental. It's exciting. And gives an opportunity, as you're talking about AI, that's actually, advancing every single day. It's advancing technologically, whether I do anything to my app or not, even if it just stays the same. And then the models get better and better, it's going to be able to improve results and do all these different ideas and concepts that I have in my head to further amazing stuff that we can do in the paranormal world. So, that's why I see people debating about it and stuff about apps. I'm just I don't understand, because the same principles are all around the same thing. I mean, we should be open to this stuff and not scoff at it, but I understand why people hate it. It's cheating and this and that. I mean, you'll sit there with my app and it won't say anything for 15, 20 minutes. And I think that gives more value to it rather than just sitting there and saying, the same sentence over and over again. I mean, it'll sit there. It's trying to do what it's supposed to do. And sometimes some of the sentences that come through, it's not even proper English. So, it's not it's just something that's saying the same thing over. Now, is it AI? It's still new. AI text-to-speech technology came out right around the time that I started developing the app. So that's still brand new and that's still advancing. So, but this is a start of something unique. And I have the spirits talking about it too. They're talking about the Sammo. They're talking about my invention. They're talking about there's something to it. And I think it's an opportunity. It's just the beginning. As that technological advances with AI increases, my original unique concept is going to improve along with it, whether I do something to it or not.
Nice. We're going to talk about supercharging that in just a second. I'll explain that in just a second. Yeah, Rhonda, science. So with that being said, I want to jump into something real quick about the app. I know I heard that there was an update, and in that update, a lot of people are saying that the word demon or demon names are coming out more. Why would you think that would be if that update took place? Where would that exchange come from?
I mean, you have to understand, we're using something that has the ability to say anything. It could say literally anything. I don't know what it's doing, but I have had demons names come through that also have come through on EVP. You're talking about giving the opportunity with a device that spirits have never had the opportunity to speak through, unless they say it through a spirit box or an EVP. So these are results that are brand new. And as I experiment with it further and try to tweak it and try to understand it, I mean, again, this is all new to me. I mean, trust me, I want to have something that I could use myself, not just to have something that everyone can use. I want it to be a valued piece of tools. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. But there's amazing results that I've had with it. And that's what I think you got to focus on, is the cup being half full and not half empty. And of course, again, there's going to be some things. Again, this is new technology. And again, there's an opportunity for spirits to say anything. It has said some nasty stuff, cursing me out, left and right. But again, I've had the same curses coming through in sentences then the same thing will come through in the spirit box. And that, to me, it's just we're getting the same stuff coming through multiple devices here. Yeah. I've had names that have come through, sentences that are the same right after each other on the spirit box. And actually, I'm very friendly with Gary Galk. I love him. He's an amazing pioneer in the paranormal world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was, we have a lot of conversations about, this stuff. And I thought it, because it's cool too, because you have it on next to a spirit box. If it says the same thing as a spirit box, and if it's doing what it's supposed to do, if it says the same words, that's proving that it's not a radio, it's not a human voice, because it's only listening for voices that can't scientifically be a human voice. So that's why I tell people, leave the spirit box on next to it, record EVPs, and I want you to validate, just like yourself, having abilities, you want to be validated, and you're looking for other pieces of equipment to validate what you're coming through, what's coming to you. So you're not thinking that, where is that coming from? You know what I mean? Exactly. You need to be validated, because I don't want to just sit there and tell you I'm picking up this, or I tell you I feel a spirit crossed over or something. That's why I leave the spirit box on while I'm praying. And then you literally hear someone, saying, thank you, I'm going to heaven. So that gives more evidence. You think these spirits are here to patronize my ego? And they're using their energy to communicate, and they're thankful. And then getting that extra evidence is going to bring value and validity to any method that you're using. And I think that's why it's important to use it. But I'm excited to see where this goes, and as the technology advances with what I'm doing with my unique concept, and see what other ideas I can flourish out into other concepts while using that same concept. Like I said, it's something that's brand new and no one's ever done before with that concept. So I think it's something that people should just be open to and just see what you get.
There you go.
Agreed.
Well, let's supercharge it real quick. Let's look at supercharging, especially over the last 4 years. With this particular type of app, the way it's coming through and the signals picking up, etc., the changing of the frequencies in the last 3 to 5 years all over the world, not just the United States, is really pumping up things. Things are happening. I think things are happening a lot more than they have in 100 plus years. Right now, this technology we have right now, we got G5 getting ready to go into G6. We have more use of static through our electrical lines and commuter lines. So these things are really going to play like a supercharged thing for this particular app, in my opinion. So how do you feel about that? And on that one, with the app, we're going to go back and talk about something else too. You were talking about holes and voids. There's something I've got a question about with that, if you want to play with that too.
So what was my thoughts on which part?
Okay, let's look at this. Supercharging the app. Let's look at G5, G6, and all these going on. You think these have a plausible effect on that particular app? I know you say you don't know, but just an idea that it could encourage or discourage?
Well, I really don't know much about like the G4, G5 stuff, so fill me in.
No, it's the amount of information it's passed or how it's being passed, because G5 signal is completely different than G4.
Okay. Well, number one, here's the thing too. Number one is that I know people who are very skeptical of apps. It's just like they want to take the antenna off the spirit box and like, oh, the radio. And to be honest with you, you should have the antenna on, because you're taking opportunity for the spirits to use to communicate through it. Yes, you have to decipher what's a spirit and what's not and have your own interpretation. But it's the same thing with these phones, especially with my concept. Okay. So you have to have the internet on my concept, because the AI is a third party. It's an outside source. So when it's listening through the phone, that information gets sent to the AI, and then it sends it back to the phone to tell you what it believes it hears. So obviously, but that tells people like, oh, it's cheating. It's trying to do this. It's trying to do that. I mean, like, well, sit there and use it. I mean, you have to be open to this stuff. I mean, like, again, we're paranormal investigators. We believe in the paranormal. You have to be open, but healthily objective in any method that you do. But I think that if you use it with patience and sit there, and it can sit there for 15, 20 minutes, it might not say anything. And I think that brings value to it. That shows that it's not just trying to spit out random stuff. But I don't know if that was tying into something, what you were saying. You're saying that how that was affecting the app and frequencies. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's the delivery of the information. You just said about the third party, the AI being a third party bringing into it. Well, let's look at that, how it's being supercharged with that information. It's also based on different signals. And how are these signals creating and building? So that's what kind of looking at. It's that building block. So listening to you, I just wanted to get your feeling on how today's technology is playing into the app itself. So no, but you answered it very well. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not there with the developers. I wish I could be, and maybe in a future date. I do have someone, people that are working on it from a foreign country. So once they finish the work and I have the code in hand, maybe I can take it here. It's just a lot more expensive and I've spent a lot of money. I unfortunately went through a horror show with this app in last year, and someone stole a lot of money and tried to steal the entire app from me. So I'm recovering from that. I haven't made a penny from this app, but I want this to be something that's valued. It's on iOS right now, Spirit Phone Innovations. It's coming to Android in the coming weeks, hopefully. And there's going to be some really exciting new features, again, that are innovative that I don't think I've seen in the software field of what it's going to be trying to do. So, I just, it's experimental, use it out in the field. I mean, people pay $600 for an Ovilus. that has the same vocabulary list that's been around for the last 15, 20 years.
Right.
So,
Right.
you know, again, I'm going to have to change the app to subscription mode, a base subscription, because we're using AI. Every AI app, you have to pay a subscription because we're using something that's constantly being used and it costs money. But I mean, even if you're paying $5 a month, you wouldn't get to $600 in a half a decade to be using something like this that has ability to say anything. And when I'm done with this thing with these new features, I mean, it's going to be even more interesting. You're going to be able to actually, I'll give you a little heads up. So basically, it's going to be able to listen for multiple languages, and whatever the checked off primary language of the user is, it's going to translate it for you. So it's actually going to try to listen for multiple languages, which I've never seen a software thing do before. So, you know, because people always say all the time, why does the app only speak English? Okay, well, there we go. I want it to be able to sit there and say something that's foreign, and then actually, you know, define it in the user's language, and that may produce even more interesting results.
Yeah.
And that to me, that goes so much further than the other apps that have been out there, because they're just circling the same thing, and all it is just a vocabulary list. And let me tell you something else too. Anything that claims to be a spirit box on apps, because I've learned about this now, because I have my own company doing this app. You cannot make a spirit box with a phone. You can't. It's pre-recorded. You cannot do a spirit box with a phone. It's impossible. Or you looked into like what people were doing or this and that, you know, because it's impossible. So it's all pre-recorded. Now, can spirits manipulate pre-recorded stuff? Do I believe that? Absolutely. But I wouldn't consider it a spirit box. It would be more like a portal than it would be a spirit box, you know, because obviously the portals, they use, you know, reverse signals, and the spirits manipulate it into the words that they want to say. I mean, again, this is all that same principle. Spirits are manipulating anything that's electrical, but it comes with a healthy level of objectivity, and see what the results you get. But, you know, again, what I'm trying to do here is, I mean, I'm trying to make this software, if God willingly, to make, you know, this paranormal software like the Tesla paranormal software of the field, where I want to go with it. I have a very, very futuristic ideas of what I want to do with this, and see if I can't wait to test it myself, to be able to just use it in an investigation and get some amazing results, and see if it actually gets into areas that we've never seen before, trying to investigate the paranormal, rather than just the same tools that we've been using over and over again. You know, people are very scared of technology, but we should be embracing it to further the research in the paranormal and close the gaps of thinning the veil and getting more answers. And with AI, we should be jumping on that and not be scared of it, especially in the paranormal world, because we're looking for answers. That's the whole point. And that's what scientists do. They sit there and they experiment with stuff that they told that would never work, and that's how they came up with inventions. So I mean, that's what I want to do with this thing, and I'm excited and hopeful that I can get to that level, because we were just at the beginning stages. I went through a really hard past year with this freaking thing, more than you freaking know. And but I want to improve on this idea and get it to the point where it's producing 10 times even more results than what it's doing right now.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Now I'm going to back him up on something here. A lot of people are talking about the phones, etc. Like I said, I don't use it. Not saying it doesn't work. However, there's something on all your phones. I don't know if it'll pull back on this one. It's called Translator. It's right there. It's what he was just talking about. It'll give words in short sentences, but not long sentences. This is not a bad idea. And this sounds like exactly what you're talking about, is putting this kind of a program into that app and making it so it's liable to hear the entire sentence. Does that sound correct? Am I out?
So say, for instance, like, it heard something and it's like, no hablo español, right? And that's what it heard. So it's going to say no hablo español, but then under it, it's going to say, I don't speak Spanish. So it's going to interpret an EVP in a different language, and then it's going to translate it to the primary user's language, so that it gives more diversity and the opportunities. I mean, the first night ever I was in a cemetery, my first time with my experience that night, one of the first EVPs from that initial trigger night, me in the paranormal world, I got an EVP that said muerto, which is death for Spanish. So again, having something like that actually can do that, it's just going to broaden the opportunities of what we can do with a tool like that. And the experiences, the value to our investigation, the information that we can pull in with technological advances like this is exciting. And to test that in the field and see what we all get. Because again, I'm passionate about the paranormal world. I saw someone else's post and said, like, you know, just treating everyone like a criminal because they're making an app and trying to trick people. And of course, I'm sure there's people out there trying to make money in the paranormal. God, that never happens. I mean, you know, people that, I mean, you got people that were never paranormal investigators, you know, doing paranormal videos now. I mean, like, because they see all the eccentric, it's a niche, it's huge. Obviously, it gets a lot of people pissed off in the paranormal world, because it downplays our legitimate like approach to the paranormal and people that are passionate about it. And everyone has their own methods, but I mean, you know what I mean. But I'm truly passionate about it, and I want this to be a valued tool. And this is just the beginning for where I see years from now where I want to.
Gotcha. Totally understand. I'm going to bring something out. We have a buttload of questions, but I'm not going to them. I know we only got a few minutes, but I want to end this show up with something that someone that's connected to you said. Seann did a very eerie investigation of a preacher. Ask him about it, please. I'm interested about hearing this particular preacher case.
Yes, I was brought to a case. You can actually watch it on my YouTube. It's one of the episodes of Up Against Evil. I think it was episode 4 or 5. A place in Ohio where I knew nothing but a pastor had lived there. And when I walked through there, I picked up intuitively that he was watching kids really bad. It felt really, really bad intentions from this individual. He's passed away. But these people had bought the house and they were renovating it to fix it. And they started having really disturbing paranormal activity. I felt there was possible underage boys that may have been assaulted in the basement. I saw lots of just bad things. Now the house was actually packed to the brim with like camera equipment, and it was straight out of a horror movie. And I wasn't aware, unbeknownst to me, but looking at some of the reels, there was a pile in the reels of the same pile where there's reels of Boy Scouts that the pastor had actually worked with, something that was labeled CUM beater right on top. That, you know, gets your drift about how disgusting and twisted it was, to the point we got the police involved to try to look at, you know, some of the reels. But, you know, it's a small town and people don't, you know, the guy's already passed away. It's like people don't want to, you know, but it was a very messed up case. It was something straight out of a horror movie. And yeah, I mean, if you want to watch it, it's pretty disturbing. And the evidence that came through, and you know, the demonic entity's name that came through is most responsible for lust. So, you know, I thought that was pretty interesting as well. And it's also a name that I've encountered in other places. But yeah, that was definitely one of the more disturbing cases. There was a couple of cases I did this past year that were straight out of a horror movie, for sure. Like I could write a book on some of these stories, for sure.
Definitely probably should.
Right?
Yeah, I got to make my third book at some point. But
that's right. That's right.
Well, Seann, let's get you out there. Where can people find you, touch base? What do you got going on? Where can you be seen? Let's make sure you get promoted out there, brother.
Yeah, I'm just at Seann D. Austin and most things, SEAN, D as in David, AUSTIN. If you guys have any questions about the app too, if anyone wants to shoot me a message, I'd be glad to answer that for you. Again, there's going to be some brand new features. I just kind of let one loose right there, and it should be coming out in the next, hopefully next couple of weeks. I'm praying because it's already took longer than I wanted. And I can't wait to test it. It's not like I just, you know, like I can't wait to use it and see what happens with it. But it'll be coming to Android. It'll be a whole new relaunch to the app in the coming weeks. But yeah, just look up, check out I just posted a video on my YouTube, another disturbing place I went to in Ohio, a funeral home in Toledo. Over 20,000 funerals took place there. And I felt intuitively that someone was being inappropriate with the bodies, and that's what was coming through on the investigation too. And it felt awful in there. And the evidence we got was crazy. I captured a black mist on video, and then when I left the camera downstairs, you'll see it. I mean, you hear a Class AVP going, Austin, and then the REM pod goes off right after that. It was a wild investigation too. But Seann Austin Paranormal on YouTube, and yeah, I'm just keeping busy. I'm right now recording my new album because I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm right outside Nashville right now. I'm here for the next couple of days. I'm filming some more cases on the road for the next couple of weeks. But yeah, appreciate it.
Awesome. Absolutely. You got your hands full, don't you there? You got your hands full. Well, Seann, we want to take the time to say thank you for coming on with us
tonight.
Thank
you. It's good to have you again.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise.
Yeah, and you know, hopefully Ron will reach back out and he can have you back on and chit chat with him a little bit on that one himself.
Absolutely.
So, Seann,
thank you guys.
Yes, sir. We thank you. You have a great night.
You too.
Thank you.
That was a great show right there.
Absolutely. It's always a good show with him, right? And I've had him on before, and I swear he's one of those guests you have when he talks and tells you all this stuff. It just, my brain now is not going to shut off for a while, because it's like things I want to write down, other things I want to look up and, learn more about. So I always like those kind of guests.
Yeah, absolutely. And, being able to have two shows as you do, you get to bounce between the two and get two different sides, two different styles.
Yeah.
So that's really beneficial, I feel, for you as well. Those freaks out there know how to do this. This is his side.
All the freaks out there, thank you for joining us. We will be over on TikTok on Thursday night. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure what we're doing, but we'll be on there at 9 p.m. if you want to come say hi, or watch one of the other shows on the RNN, and Ryan will upload what's on TikTok later. And then we'll be back next week on next Tuesday, and then Howie and I will be back on Sunday.
Yeah, we're not really sure what's going to happen. It's going to be up in the air, but it will be exciting, I promise. So, yes, and for me, as the network director here, thank you to all of you for tuning in to this show and all the great shows that we have here on the Rift Nation Network. Also, check out other of the great shows that are on other networks, such as Things Network and UPRN. Check these shows out. There's a plentiful amount of amazing blog and vlog shows that are live now, not just, pre-recorded.
Yeah.
So get your chance. You get to talk to everybody. Get involved. That's the best thing I can say.
Yep. And everybody new that joined us tonight that are friends of Seann or his moderators, come join us anytime. It was great having you. Love seeing all the interaction in the chat. We love that. So thanks for being a part of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And as always, may virtue be yours.
Good night, everyone.